What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and let's get into it. And we're starting off with one from ABC News, and this is kind of a sad one. Well, it is a sad one. Two people died, and this keeps happening, and it's very, very disturbing. I don't even want to say it's kind of disturbing. It seriously is disturbing, and the Civilian Office of Police Accountability in Chicago is investigating the deaths of London Marquez and Irene Chavez, two women who are Hispanic and who died while in police custody over the past 2 months. So Marquez, 31, died on January 27th while in custody of the 11th District Police, Copper said, while Chavez died after an attempted suicide on December 18th at the 3rd District Police Station. The cause and manner of death in both cases is still unknown, pending autopsy results. A member of Marquez's family gathered on Sunday outside the area for police headquarters where she died and urged the police for answers. She was someone who was loved. She had many siblings. She has a mom, a dad. We need answers. Her sister, Titoya Marquez, told reporters. People saw her that same day being active. Nothing wrong with her. Walking around, she added. They also said that Marquez was 7 months pregnant with her first child at the time of her death. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's really sad. Wow. Oh, sorry guys. It's a cold city, and it's even colder. What happened to my little sister? Her brother, Marquez told reporters. It's unclear why Marquez was put in custody. A spokesperson for corporate confirmed to ABC News on Monday that the Civilian Oversight Agency is investigating the case, including why she was arrested. How can you not know why she was arrested? How can that not be known? I don't understand how that's not known. If anything, that's the basic requirement for being in police custody is because you've done something. To me, that seems really weird that they don't know why she was arrested. The agency is investigating an incident in which a civilian died while in police custody. The person was identified as Marquez, and the cause and manner of death are unknown at the time. The Cook County Medical Examiner's Officer said that an autopsy was performed on January 28th, and Cooper was present, but the results are pending at this time. Cooper is also investigating the death of Chavez, who died in the early hours of December 18th, following a medical emergency related to attempted suicide. Chavez was in critical condition when she was transported to the University of Chicago Hospital, where she died hours later. In the incident at Jeffrey Pub Cabin, hours before her death, but the cause of death is unknown. Iris Chavez, Irene's sister, told reporters that police have not provided details surrounding her sister's death, and the family is demanding answers. I mean, that was ages ago as well. Like, not ages ago, but it was a long enough time ago where an autopsy should have turned something up, right? That happened, what? Sometime December 18th. So that's like a month and a half ago nearly now. In fact, it's more than a month and a half ago. that that both these cases sad, and an unborn child was involved in this. It is disturbing, and it's sad that these things happen. Let's move on to the next story though, which comes from AP, and this is a bit of a mental one. Justice Department announces 3.6 billion crypto seizure to arrest. So this is like a huge one. This is huge. The Justice Department announced Tuesday its largest ever financial seizure, more than 3.6 billion dollars, and the arrest of two New York couple accused of conspiring to launder billions of dollars in cryptocurrency stolen from 2016 hack of a virtual currency exchange, which is a thing that happens all the time, quite often. It's not just these people who are doing this; it's foreign governments. We covered the story, obviously, of North Korea, which is doing the very same thing that these people did, stealing, hacking these exchanges, and then forcing all these transfers to get crypto sent to them, and then using the money for whatever they want. Although this one's a little bit weird. This is a bit weird. So they, they've been arrested for this. But I'm gonna say it's alleged because obviously they have not been convicted of anything. But federal law enforcement officials said the sum recovered was linked to the hack of Bitfenix, a virtual currency exchange whose systems were breached by hackers nearly 6 years ago. And obviously, there's two people involved in this. Ilya Dutch Liechtenstein, a 34-year-old citizen of Russia and the United States, and his wife Heather Morgan, who were arrested in Manhattan on Tuesday morning. So it's been released on bail, both of them. Liechtenstein has been released on a $5 million bond, and his wife Morgan is being released as bail has been set for Liechtenstein for $5 million bond, co-signed by his parents, and the bond amount for Morgan was set at $3 million, and they were to remain in custody obviously until the bail conditions were met. Blah blah blah. But the prosecutors argued that they shouldn't have got bail because they could have access to more money. And then there was also apparently a folder with passport IDs of how to get fake IDs. According to defense attorney and Arunda Bansal, countered by telling the judge his clients had no intention of fleeing, saying that they had known they were under investigation since late last year, and still they sat tight. He also called the charges thin and overblown. And this is where it gets weird. I don't think you'll find that billions of dollars being laundered, Bansal said. And this is where it gets weird. The couple was not charged in the Bitfenix hack itself, during which a hacker initiated more than 2,000 authorized Bitcoin transactions that sent stolen funds to a digital wallet under Liechtenstein's control. About 71 million in Bitcoin at the time, which is now valued to be more than 4.5 billion. But that's the thing, right? They weren't charged in the original hack, which doesn't make sense. Who was charged in the original hack? Authorities say they ultimately traced the stolen funds to more than a dozen accounts that were controlled by Liechtenstein, Morgan, and their businesses. Court documents accused them of relying on classic money laundering techniques to hide their activities and the movement of the money, such as setting up accounts with fictitious names and using computer programs to automate transactions. They also relied on Alphabet, a dark web criminal marketplace that was dismantled by the Justice Department in 2017, as an opportunity to conceal their transactions and make them harder to trace. Millions of dollars of the transactions were cashed out through Bitcoin ATMs and used to purchase gold and non-fungible tokens. NFTs, always making an appearance in these lovely stories, aren't they? God. The gold was smart investment because gold is finite, right? It actually has value. NFTs is whatever. God, try and go through that cool hoop of the system. But I don't know. We'll have to see where this one goes. I just don't understand how they weren't prosecuted in the original hack. That leads me to suspect that they think they can get out of this. And I don't know if they can or they can't, but seems like a weird one. Let's move on to the next story. Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics hit by delusional complaints from athletes. This is stupid on so many levels. We'll try and get through some of these. Beijing kicked off the Winter Olympics 4 days ago, promising it would be streamlined, safe, and splendid. Some have lauded China's efforts to ensure a relatively virus-free game. I mean, that's what they that's what they try to do with these bubble systems, right? But some participants say they are living and training in dismal conditions, prompting them to lobby organizers for improvements. Swedish delegation called for cross-country skiing events to be held earlier in the day to protect athletes from freezing temperatures. After Swedish athlete Frida Karlsson was seen shaking and close to collapse at the end of the women's 7.5 plus 7.5 skiathlon on Saturday. Under International Ski Federation rules, competitions are not allowed to take place when temperatures dive below minus 20 Celsius. Temperatures were measured at minus 13 Celsius. So it wasn't minus 20, it was minus 13. So, again, wasn't minus 20. But Swedish team boss Anders Byström told reporters that temperatures were close to minus 31, with wind chill taken into consideration. We have the cold limit, but I do not know if they also measured the wind effect. So he doesn't even know. He admits himself he doesn't even know. He makes a statement and then goes, we have the cold limits, but I don't know if they also measure the wind effect. So he doesn't know. So there's been COVID cases as well, including athletes and team officials, have been reported at games with frustration bubbling over confusion surrounding isolation rules. Basically what happened was they put everyone in bubbles, so not everyone can infect everyone if they test positive for COVID, right? You don't want different groups of athletes infecting different groups of athletes, right? You want as many events to go forward as possible. But what happened was people arrived and tested positive. People arrived to the games positive with COVID. Like, what the fuck? Really? You flew to China knowing you were positive and then complained that you put in isolation. What the fuck do you expect to happen? If you travel anywhere, that's what's going to happen. And they set up these bubbles specifically to stop you spreading it. And what's worse is that there'll be there'll be athletes, right, who went there who were negative, knew they were negative, right, completely followed all the rules and everything, got put into these bubbles thinking they were safe, and then selfish athletes went there and tested positive, right? Selfish athletes have gone there because I don't believe for a second that they got tested before the flight, were negative, then got tested because this will be in a private flight, right? I don't think these will have flown with the general public. I reckon all these people will have flown on private jets with the entire team. Because that's a lot of people, right? You're talking like a nation of people, right? Basically, every single spot that you can imagine at the Winter Olympics. I can't see how that would be a normal commercial flight. I see that as being chartered for the most part, or there would be like an agreement where it'd be like, oh, this plane's going to be for the Olympic team, right? So I don't see how they went there and tested positive. And now they're complaining because that they have to follow the rules and they're calling it a joke. And I just don't think it's a joke personally. So China's gone to great lengths to keep vibes out, barring foreign spectators and prohibiting tickets from being sold to the general public. So there's no foreign spectators, there's no general public there. Media, athletes, and observers are being kept in distinct bubble areas, with rules saying anyone entering these bubbles must be fully vaccinated or spend 21 days in quarantine, right? China's rules stipulate those who have symptoms will be taken to a designated hospital, and those who are asymptomatic will stay in an isolation facility. So if you test positive and you don't have symptoms, you will go into an isolation facility where you'll be kept away from everyone else. And if you are symptomatic, you will go to hospital, right? So you get medical attention and, ensure that you're getting all the treatment that you get. Those affected will be kept in isolation until they test negative twice, 24 hours apart. After that, they will be released to rejoin the bubble. Earlier last week, Belgian skeleton racer Kim Mellemans posted a tearful account on Instagram alleging that she had been bounced from one isolation facility to another. We're not even sure I will be allowed to return to the Olympic Village. In the video, I'm not sure I can handle 14 more days in the Olympic competition while being in this isolation. I'm sorry, what? You tested positive, you have to isolate. It's not new. We've been doing this for 2 years now. And the way I'm seeing this is a lot of these teams are trying to make excuses. It really seems like they're just trying to make excuses. So, like, what? You expect not to not isolate? Polish speed skater Natalie Malizewska also claimed she was unexpectedly released from quarantine the night before a qualifying race, only to be sent back into isolation hours before competing following a positive COVID test. I don't believe in anything anymore. In no tests, no games. It's a big joke for me. She wrote on Twitter in Polish, according to a translator. That one, like, I don't know. Released from quarantine the night before a qualifying race, or to be sent back into isolation hours before competing following a positive COVID test. I mean, what did she expect to happen? This is what I don't understand. What do they expect to happen if you test positive? Separately, Russian biathlon competitor Valeria Vasnetsova expressed her frustration with the food provided in isolation, posted on Instagram of what she said was breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 5 days already. Provides that private, but the image of the meal, plain pasta, potatoes, blah blah blah. This is the image here. I mean, can we get a big version of this? Potatoes. I'm not sure what that is. Barbecued meat, pasta. Is that pasta sauce? It looks like pasta sauce, I think. But yeah, like, what did they say it was? Plain pasta, potatoes, charred meat on the bone. They said no vegetables. I think that's a very weird thing to be like, no vegetables. Got potato, got pasta, got sauce there. Like it's got protein and stuff. Um, I don't believe that they served this for a solid 5 days. Even in this, they admit that they can't confirm this. They can't confirm the claims at all. In a meeting with reporters on Monday, National Olympic Committee sports director Kit McConnell said the isolation conditions of athletes were top priority. They were taking steps to address individual circumstances which are still challenging. Meanwhile, others have praised China's determined efforts to ensure a relatively virus-free game, including deep cleaning the sleep pods between users, regular spraying of disinfectant, and deploying robots in kitchens and bars for food preparation and distribution. I mean, what more do they want them to do? If anything, if anything, you've got to blame the athletes who went there who were positive, right? I feel like, I don't know. To me, it just feels like some people knew that they were positive and went there regardless and went, we'll just deal with it when we're there. I can fully believe that in sports industry that would happen. And yeah, whatever. Moving on to the last story, which is the best story of the day. Fox 13. This is mental. But, like, what? A man brought it into someone's home, takes bath, eats shrimp, and leaves $200 for damages. So, a New Mexico man who allegedly broke into a home took a bath, ate some shrimp, drank a beer before being confronted by the homeowner, and he's been arrested. The man, Terrell Christensen, 34, was arrested Sunday for breaking into the home after smashing a window to get in. When Christensen was confronted by the homeowner, he apologized. He told him he just needed a warm place to sleep and left the man 200 to repair the window, according to court documents filed in Santa Fe County Magistrate Court and obtained by Santa Fe, New Mexican. The man had a rifle with him when he left the home, according to the police report. Christensen told investigators he was caught in a blizzard Sunday and was afraid he would freeze. Police said he told them he felt bad about breaking the window of the home and had left money for the owner. Coleman said the man was extremely embarrassed and apologetic about the situation, the Albuquerque Journal reported. When asked why he broke into the home, the man said his family was killed in East Texas and he was running from somebody. There's no corroboration of that, but that's what he said. That's mental, law. That's mental. Breaking the home, takes back these shrimps in, gives the guy $200 for the damage for breaking the window, and then, what? Crazy times. Anyways, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about all things today. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out and have a good rest of your day.